let's get over to the phone lines because we got to stay on track for Alan Snell at 8:30, and I do not want to miss this call right now. Joining us on the Residential Bancorp Fox Sports studio line is my father, Dr. Erwin Feldman. It is Father's Day, and I wasn't sure, neither was my entire family, that we would be celebrating Father's Day. And I'll say it straight up. I mean, we know that. My father contracted COVID-19 back in April. He's home resting now. And as a matter of fact, last week he actually went back to work at 82 years old as a practicing physician, much to probably my entire family's dismay, as we'd rather not have that. But, Dad, what is going on? How are you, Dad? Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you, Brian. I'm fine. I'm feeling much better.
Dad, talk to me about this. Sports show, and we try to stick away from the COVID. You hear it everywhere. You can't walk away from it. But hearing from somebody that's in the medical profession and you experience this, how serious is this, Dad? I mean, it's amazing we're talking about professional sports getting back and 44,000 new cases in Florida yesterday. Are people taking this too lightly, or are we not taking it? Are we taking it too seriously?
I don't think that. I think we're not taking it seriously enough. I think that people cannot be in crowds. It's too easy to contact the virus. And I think if this continues and people just go out and don't follow all the rules, I think they're going to have another spike of the episode by September or October.
That's what we keep hearing. And Dad, experiencing this yourself, I mean, when you first contracted it, I mean, obviously all of us that love you greatly were to say that I shut down for a day or two in Vegas. If you talk to my friends, that would be probably the understatement of the century, knowing me and what an emotional sap I can be. But what was it when you first, you heard you had it, Dad? I mean, what was it like? You're 82 years old. Let's be realistic. You're just about to turn 82 at the time. As being a medical profession, pre-existing conditions, having your a pacemaker, you've had a valve replaced, and you survived this and never even went on a respirator. But when you first heard you contracted it, what went through your head?
When I first got sick, I went in the emergency room. I was so sick I thought I was going to die. But the care was tremendous in the hospital, and I just got better. I can't explain to you why. I think it's just the luck of the draw.
Well,
I think that some people are more luckier than other ones, and I don't know if they fight harder or if they just get better. It's really hard to say. Even as a doctor, I can't tell you much about this virus because I don't think we took it seriously enough when it first started.
Yeah,
But now I think everybody's starting to get out and do things now, and I'm not sure if they don't follow the rules. I'm not sure how bad this will get again.
Yeah, you got a really good point, Dad. And trying to go into the stores, it's not that hard to wear the mask, people. And if you're not protecting yourself, you're helping to protect other people. And I've said it all along. Just keep following the rules. This is no joke, and we haven't done it real well in the United States. And the most disconcerting thing, Dad, is like what you said. There's nothing you can really tell people as far as what to look for. When I asked you a couple months ago, what can we look for? I can tell my children what's a sign, like a first symptom, and you're like, there's like 20 of them, and they could all be something else. So crazy stuff, Dad. Moving away from that, I want to talk to you about Father's Day itself. A tremendous meaning to me as a person. Just what you've meant to me in my life and where I sit today, the things I've done is just a reflection of what a father is supposed to be. And the day's so meaningful to me, not just, to have you still in my life, but to teach me what it was like to be a father and be able to pass that on to my kids, who I'll be spending the day with in a little while here in Las Vegas. And, of course, my dad, Dr. Erwin Feldman, right now in Farmington Hills, Michigan, on the phone with us. And pretty cool, Dad, but talking about some great Father's Day memories. And we'll talk about your favorite sports memory ever on a Father's Day, if you can remember. And I'll remind you of one, and it might be one of your favorite. But for me, my favorite memory, Dad, and for our family members, and I'll bet, a lot of our family members are listening today as I kind of, let them know that you were going to be on the show. But I don't know if all of them know that in 1996, Dad, I got us a couple of credentials to go to the U.S. Open at Oakland Hills. And you remember that, I'm probably pretty sure. We got to go on Thursday, and my father and I got to walk around and experience something that probably very few people have. Not only a great camaraderie heading into Father's Day weekend, but we got to go to the Open, and we followed Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods for 18 holes on Thursday. Tiger was an amateur. If you talk to my father and ask him who his favorite athlete of all time is, it is Jack Nicklaus. He loves the Golden Bear, always has, probably made me love the Golden Bear the way I do. But, Dad, how cool was that? And what do you remember about that walk around Oakland Hills and seeing Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods play together? How iconic was that?
That's one of my best sports things ever. I thought it was terrific, and it was a great day. And I don't know if you remember or not, but when we finished the 18 holes with Nicklaus and them, Nicklaus is walking into the clubhouse, and I think we talked to him for a couple minutes.
Yeah,
we just talked about how his back was killing him, and I still remember that.
Yeah, Dad.
But
I was going to.
That weekend was one of the best sports weekends I ever had.
Dad,
I was there every day, and that was terrific.
It was pretty cool, and the only anticlimactic thing about the whole weekend was Steve Jones winning the tournament. I'd never heard of the guy really, and he wins his only U.S. Open. You got all these big names, and it ends up being Steve Jones at 1 under par. I mean, the rough, walking through the rough, you couldn't see your feet at Oakland Hills, and you really learned how difficult they make. If you go out of play in the U.S. Open, you understand why the scores are so high. They really make the courses as difficult as can be, and that North course at Oakland Hills is probably one of the tougher courses in the country when they make the rough course, tough. But about that with my dad and I, we actually walked with Jack Nicklaus for a few seconds, talked to him, and then afterwards my dad and I go sit down and we ate in the clubhouse. And Dad, I don't remember this, we're sitting there, we're watching on television, and we see Jack Nicklaus outside the clubhouse signing autographs. Now, being a member of the media, I am not allowed to get autographs in any way, shape, or form, but I took off my media credential, went into the media tent, grabbed a card and a picture I had, and while my dad was eating, I told him I had to go to the bathroom, and I went out and got those two autographed by Jack Nicklaus, and then gave that to my dad with his credential and all that for Father's Day. But Dad, I'll never forget it. It is without question my favorite Father's Day weekend ever. But my favorite sporting event on a Father's Day, and if you remember this, Dad, and I want to see if you remember one. But how about 2008 when Tiger Woods basically on one leg forced that playoff on Father's Day Sunday with Rocco Media, and of course the next day went out and walked 18 holes on one leg and beat him in the playoff. But that was one of the most incredible performances ever. The guy couldn't walk, and you know what it's like, Dad, with a bad back and a torn knee to try to play that game of golf and to play at the level he did in 2008. One of my favorite memories of all times on Father's Day.
Yeah, that was terrific. I follow Tiger Woods today, just like I did with Jack Nicklaus years ago. The two of them just made golf a tremendous game to watch and to play. I whenever Tiger's playing, I make sure I watch it, just like I did when Nicklaus played.
I know, Dad. Both of our favorite memories, and we talked about it before we've had in the show. That back nine in 1986 by Jack Nicklaus at Augusta is probably my favorite, if not my favorite all-time sporting event. It's in the top 5. I've never seen anyone play the back nine like he did. At one point, I believe it was Seve Ballesteros had a 4-stroke lead with like 4 holes or 5 holes to play, and Jack just tore the back nine up, and it was it got me into watching golf. And since then, I've been a fanatic like you when it comes to watching it. I just wish I had half the game you had. My dad was kicking my ass on a golf course when he was in his 70s, and I was in the prime of my life. I mean, my dad just could play the game, and I always sucked at it. But, you can't be good at all sports. But, Dad, real quickly before I let you go, I just want to say to you, on behalf of our entire family, we're so happy that you're with us. Father's Day again, to have you here, and and I can't wait to see you soon. Once all this crap ends, and hopefully we get back to at least some type of a new normality. I definitely want to get to Detroit and see you again. But Dad, a lot of our family members are listening out there, and I want to ask you, Dad. Your entire life, all the sporting events and everything you've seen. What's your favorite event? Your favorite sporting event that you can ever remember? My God, there's been many of them.
There's a lot of sporting events, but I still think the U.S. Open, Jack Nicklaus that we were talking about, is still my favorite one.
Yeah,
golf is my favorite sport, and I have to put that at the top.
I appreciate that, Dad. Once again, happy Father's Day to you. I can express it all day long. Thank you for everything you've done for me and for our family. Incredible. And Dad, thank you. You've been the guiding light for all of us for so long, and the moniker, the torch. And I know that all of our family listening, my Aunt Sissy, my Aunt Heidi out there, your sisters, my sister Pam, my brother Paul and Matt, and anyone else I'm forgetting, my sister Sally, everyone who's listening out there. I know, Dad, we are so thrilled and honored. And I was telling my good friend Ben, who's actually in our break room, in the green room here in the other room, who's in town visiting from Texas, who lost his father a few years back, how blessed I am. And sometimes I forget how fortunate we all are to have had you this time. And Dad, you got to stick around. So maybe reconsider the going back to work. I know you love it, and just please take care of yourself out there. Be safe, and keep doing what you do, Dad.
All right, Bryan, it's good talking to you. I love you. And take care of yourself.
Love you too, Dad. We'll talk to you soon. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, Alan Snell, lvsportsbiz.com, talking about his new book. This is Out of Line. We'll see you in about 2.5 minutes.